Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and as you can see behind me, oh yeah, Pneumaticcraft time. We are going to be finishing this up and getting ourselves an assembly machine set up. So, I hope you guys are ready. So we're back again with some more Pneumaticcraft, and I think today will be the final episode for Pneumaticcraft as we start to get into some of the last and final things. So, what do we need to do today? Well, we're going to be creating ourselves some PCBs, and then we're going to get some of the final Pneumaticcraft assembly line going. I believe that shouldn't be too difficult as it is kind of like a multi-block structure. But the hardest part is getting the PCBs set up. That is going to take a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We have the empty PCB here. To make a PCB, we are going to need green plastic and a compressed iron ingot. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess just grab 4 for right now. I think 4 is what we are going to need for the full assembly line. If I remember correctly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 in total. 7, 8. I think a security station is also part of this in the programmer. So 8 and 9. So we're going to need like 9 of these circuit boards, I believe, for this final structure. It's like this, all these machines with an assembly controller. The programmer, actually, I think the programmer is used for this stuff. I'm going to make 9 just because I don't think the assembly requires 9, but I believe 9 will get us into some of the other cool things in this mod that this mod has the ability to do. Because I haven't even talked about like the cool weapons and stuff. There's like a vortex cannon that you can get into. There's a mini gun, like a rail gun that you can use, which is kind of cool as well. All right, so let's go ahead and grab some of this iron. I kind of want to talk about what this takes here. So if you remember, we have this output turned off. This thing is fully pressurized and ready to go. I also automated making security upgrades, so they're automated in our system. Now, how do I get items in? Well, that's where you have to place the items in here. So first of all, let's just start off with 1. So when we place these in here, the internal chamber is going to open. It's going to drop 1 item in at a time. And the reason it does 1 item at a time is to help reduce... Yeah, as you see, it just converted. It's to help reduce pressure loss. So now we can open this. It's going to open that up. And it's going to be pulled out. And we can pull that out. Right? And I just closed it. Basically is what is going on here. All this noise that you hear, by the way. Yeah, that noise, pretty annoying, right? I think this actually needs to... I was thinking maybe it needs to finish closing, but that doesn't seem to be the case. All right, I'm going to turn that back off. The reason why you want to keep this off is because you can actually do multiple crafts in this. So if I have 8 here, I should be able to overall craft all of these items. It's going to throw your first set in first. So it's going to throw the plastic in first. Next, it's going to throw the compressed iron. And what we should end up with is we should end up with all 9 of these, or all the 8 of those left. You can see it craft them all at once. Now this will open. I can open it up. And then it should dump the rest of them out. Perfect. So there's all 9. That's exactly what we want. And I'll turn that back off so we can work on another thing. So... after you get this done, you're going to want to go ahead and get this process started. These have to go inside of a UV chamber. And this takes up to 10 minutes without speed upgrades. So, yeah, this could take a little bit of time. Now, we do have the ability to make some speed upgrades. It will take a little bit of extra processing to make a couple of more different types of fluids. But... for right now, I'm just going to leave this be like it is. It doesn't seem like it's taking that long. I don't know. But we need to work on making some etching acid. Because after we finish with this step, we have to start putting this into some etching acid. So, to make etching acid, let's see. This stuff right here is going to require, I think we can make a bucket. There we go. It's going to require spider eyes, a bucket of water, 2 green plastic, 2 rotten flesh, and 2 gunpowder. Okay. So, etching acid it is. Let's go ahead and highlight that as an item. I'm going to need 2 green plastic, it said. I'm glad we have a lot of plastic. Some spider eyes. 2 of those. Gunpowder. I remember that. There's 2 of those. What else was it? Rotten flesh and bucket of water. So bucket of water and rotten flesh. And this process may seem a little tedious if you don't have the setup like we have going on here, where you have this blocked off. Because if this was open and the items were dumped in here, and so you put the bucket of water in here first, the bucket of water would automatically have been exported out. And you don't want that to happen. That's why you need to have some redstone signal going to this. Alright, so up here, let's go ahead and throw all the items in that it needs. It's going to start putting them in 1 item at a time. Or 1 item type at a time. And then, once it makes the etching acid, we can go ahead and pull it out. You only need to make 1 bucket of etching acid, as these things don't consume the etching acid. This said it took 10 minutes, but I don't think this... I don't know, it might take 10 minutes. We could put some speed upgrades in there. I guess we can go ahead and talk about speed upgrades. So, speed upgrades in this requires a bucket of lubricant. And to get the bucket of lubricant, it needs to go through here. We need to take some diesel. It needs to go through this process with a little bit of pressure and some temperature increase in order to produce lubricant. Now, we can convert this setup here into producing lubricant. So all I need to do is just swap this out. And right now, this is actually producing a lot of plastic. All right, let's get a drum. Actually, let's go with Ender.io tank. Pretty sure we have a couple of tanks that can be used. I'm just going to pull these out and let the rest of that be pulled out. This stuff is actually kind of important. So the more that we have, the better off we'll be later on. So yeah, that's full. And let all that LPG drain out. And then I'm actually going to swap this over. We're going to switch this to the diesel. That's going to be pulled out of here. So I went ahead and got this converted. I did have to make another one of these processing plants, as the other one kept like 3 millibuckets in there and I couldn't remove it. So I guess I could have dumped the tank. I actually didn't even think about that. But anyways, this is now producing lubricant. So what we can do is actually get some buckets. I guess 4, because I'm probably going to make 4 speed upgrades. And we should be able to grab ourselves 4 buckets of lubricant. We go over here where it's a little bit quieter. We can use these to make speed upgrades. So, lubricant there. Perfect. And now we have a few speed upgrades, which is great, because we can throw them in here. And that speeds up the process a little bit quicker. Or just makes this just a little bit faster. 95, at least I think it does. It's supposed to. The max pressure really doesn't matter. It's just the fact that these things can have, I think, 8 speed upgrades in them. I don't know. But still, we have to wait pretty much for all of this to process. It's sort of the thing that I'm going to have to do. But once we get this done, I'm going to show you that now this is ready to go. We can now take our etching acid. It's getting really loud over here, by the way. And we're going to pop this open. Actually, let's go ahead and do this here. We're going to go ahead and place the etching acid in the world. And what we do is we throw this inside there. And that's going to take some time. I think it takes 5 minutes or so. At least it says it on the tooltip. And it won't despawn, so don't worry about the item despawning. And I think you could throw multiples in there at a time. But right now, what we can do is grab these and start throwing this in there. Look at that. That's going way faster now. Oh, yeah. That's not going to take much time at all. And I think the excess pressure buildup also helps a little bit. So if this was pushing 5 just a little bit faster, it would definitely go a little bit faster. So yeah, we just need to leave that in there. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'll be back once these processes are done. So while I'm still waiting for this stuff to process, I'm actually still waiting for these guys to be converted fully before I just throw them in here. I can actually go ahead and start the process of making some of the other components. This is where you do need a lot of plastic. So luckily we did have quite a bit of plastic in supply. I also went ahead and converted this back because I've already made enough speed upgrades, at least I think. And yeah, we should be able to sort of get this started. So make sure this is turned off like we've done in the previous episodes, because we're going to be working on getting these printed, the transistors and capacitors, because these do need to be printed circuit boards. That's just how everything is going to work and how we're going to make all these other machines. So what was actually, that was actually that was new. I don't think I've seen that before. What is that? Oh, a flux compressor. This block can convert forage energy into compatible with RF using energy mod into compressed air by default. It's 40%. Oh, nice. So yeah, we can technically make this now, and we can output a lot more air. It does 20 bars for this one machine. That's kind of nice. Anyways, I'm getting kind of sidetracked. All we got to do is throw these sections in here, because in order for us to get the printed, we need 3 apiece, and these are pretty simple to make. They just require the same material, just a different type of plastic. And you're going to need 27 of them because we do have 9. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these in first, let those go in, and then I'm going to work on the next ones. And until then, we should have, or by the time this is done, we should have almost all 9 of these ready to go. Look at that. It's already letting them all in. So now that we have all 9 of the unassembled PCBs, we should be able to now pull out our capacitors. Trying to come over here to make it a little bit quieter. And we're going to upgrade these things. So I'm going to throw these in here and in here. And that should get us all printed circuit boards. Now, in our manual, it says a new chapter unlocked. And it pretty much unlocked all of our stuff. It unlocked our armor that we have here. And it also unlocked the drone programming section. And I think manufacturing was also unlocked as well. So our assembly system, this is something that we need to kind of look at. It does tell us all the required parts. And I don't know if it's going to specifically tell us how to assemble this thing, because some of these things do need certain blocks next to them, and they do need to be arranged in a certain way. So it does tell us our assembly platform, which is the work table for our assembly machines. It is used to hold items and place them while drilling and lasering. Then we have our assembly drills, our assembly IO unit. This right here is going to let us it's what's going to pick up items, I do believe. It's like your import and export. Yeah, you can see right here. The IO unit can export finished items or import items to be used in crafting. Okay, so I figure we're probably going to need 2 assembly units. I don't know if it specifically tells us what order they need to be placed in. It does show us just the machines here. But yes, this is what we're going to be working with next. So, when it comes to the assembly machines, let's go ahead and take a look over here. We also need to think about these guys too, because these are also important as well. We do have our assembly IO, which we are going to need more plastic, as you can see, for all of these components. It does get kind of plastic expensive, but that's where we do have sort of a backlog of plastic. I even think this is starting to, sort of get too full. And even then, we shouldn't run out of coal. We even have room here. So all I would need to do is basically just craft up some more coal. And just make sure that that has some in there. And that's going to consistently make sure that we have plastic built up. Okay, so blue is definitely something we're going to need. And I think it was just normal blue, right? So let's take a look at that. Pneumaticcraft. So we're going to need blue, a lot of blue for the cylinders. Everything else is pretty standard. The assembly is going to need some orange and blue. So it's just a lot of orange and blue, it seems like, for each one of these things. So after waiting quite a while, because I didn't realize we were going to need this much plastic, but I just had to wait a little bit for our plastic to sort of produce. And as you can see, we already still have enough left over. It just took a little bit of time. I just kind of had to wait for it. And what we ended up needing was a roughly like 84 blue plastic, I think it was, and I think 3 orange. So let's talk about this a little bit. So I think I made just enough printed circuit boards to make this thing out. We're going to need 2 assembly I/O units. We're going to need 1 assembly platform, 1 assembly drill, 1 assembly laser, and an assembly controller. This is going to complete our multi-block, and then of course we are going to need an air compressor and things like that. So let's start off with our I/O. We are going to need a few of these, and these actually require a cannon barrel for each one. And we're going to need a lot of these pneumatic cylinders, because each one of these things pretty much requires pneumatic cylinders all the way through. So for this specifically, we make 2. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few of these. If we have to make more material, we can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to make 6 of those. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the few that we need, at least for just our first machine, which is this one, which is also going to need a couple of hoppers. And we'll go ahead and make our I/O. So this is our assembly I/O. We need to make 2 of those. So there we go. Those are ready to go. Now we move on to our platform, which is going to also need those pneumatic tubes. And this is going to need orange plastic. Then we're going to need our assembly drill, which is going to require 3 more of these. And you can see we ran out of the tube, which I think we're going to need 1 more. We might need more for the final machine. I don't actually know. But this is going to be our drill. This requires some diamond, it looks like. So that's our drill, and then we need our laser. There's our assembly laser, and then last but not least, the assembly controller, which is going to require the 3 printed circuit boards that we should have left. And it looks like it leaves us with 1 more left over, and we can use that for something else later on. This right here is pretty much all we need, besides some chests, which we have 1, but I am going to need to make some more. So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and just use 2 chests for this. We're also going to need our drill, and we're going to need some way to power this setup. So we'll probably just utilize this setup over here. I might actually remove this guy. And what we'll do is we'll just utilize that for our setup. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this placed. It is going to be a little bit loud. Right here is going to go our pressure. I need to put this in here as well. And then we also need to just go ahead and set the rest of our stuff up. So our assembly I/O units, I'm going to set 1 here. And then we can go ahead and place a chest that is over here. This is going to be like our input chest. We can do our laser and drill. So I'll do the drill here, our laser here, another assembly I/O unit, and last but not least, our platform. And this is pretty much it. We do need to click this, though, to make this our output. And for the most part, the last thing we're going to need is to specify what program we're going to be using for this. And I believe we have to buy the program through our Amazon drones. So yeah, you can see right here we have assembly drill, which is going to make each of these things are going to do different tasks for us. You can see the redstone can be turned into dye. This only has 2. This one turns our empty PCBs that are pretty simple to make, right? These are the ones that are made in the tube. This can take it all the way to the unassembled stage, so bypassing all the other stuff, which is really great. It also is going to make those advanced pressure tubes that, if we remember correctly, are required for this right here, all the mods that we were working on. So all of this just leads up to this point. So now that we know what we need, which is the laser, let's go ahead and get the thing. So we are going to need, I believe it was just some emeralds, and we're going to need this guy. So laser right here. We'll order one of those. Let's go ahead and get that guy coming down, collecting our stuff, and that's probably all we're going to need. There we go. And once we get that, we should be pretty much ready to go. Now, I do need to look and see. What else was it? It was just this right here, which requires 20 pressure valves. Wow. Okay. So pressure valves. Is it pressure chamber valves? Yes, pressure chamber valves. So we need 20 of those. And that's what we'll use as a test. So there we go. There is this guy. And we should just be able to put that in there. And this thing says standby. So what we can do now is, I believe this is set to input. Is this our input? I don't remember if this is our input or not. Yes, this is our input. So when we put the required items in the input slot, this is what happens. All of this starts working. That's super cool, in my opinion. I love how cool this is. Now, we should be able to put some speed upgrades in it, and of course, that's going to speed it up significantly. It's going to place that there. It still says running. I don't know if it's because we ran out of air or not. Did I speed it up too fast? I think it needs to hit close to 5 bars of pressure in order for it to function properly. Oh, I might have sped it up too fast. It doesn't seem like it's finishing its process, though. Which is not actually a good thing. Wonder if I should break this. Will it... Oh, does it delete our items? Oh no, it looks like it deletes the items. Oh, bummer. We're actually out of the compressed. Alright. Well, just for you guys, I want to see if I slow it down and don't throw those speed upgrades in there, if we'll be okay. Alright. That should work. We should be able to toss these guys out. Set that off. And get the right number set up here. There we go. Try this again. That's going to reach. All right. So hopefully this process actually works this time. It is a little bit slower. I'm hoping. I wonder if I unconnect that top piece, if that would actually function faster. Status, assembly, everything is correct, no problems. It places it down. It looks all funky here. That completes its task. And the laser's not doing its thing. Okay, so I ended up figuring it out. I needed the laser to be the one that's directly in the middle. I guess depending on what you're using, the tool, whether it's the drill or the laser, it needs to be in the middle. So now the laser's working. You can kind of see the laser down in there shooting onto the tools. That's going to retract. And this arm should reach over and pull it out. And I think having speed upgrades should help. Yeah. Much quicker. Wow, that was actually a lot faster. Okay. So, if I do these again, we will definitely see that this is a much faster process. Now that we have the speed upgrades in there. Look at this. It pulls them out, places them on there. The laser does its thing. Sort of spins around, pulls the pipe out, and voila, done. Look at that. So these pressure tubes hold 20 bars of pressure, which are much better than what we currently have. But guys, this is what we needed. We needed advanced pressure tubes, which require a lot of effort to get through Pneumaticcraft. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you are enjoying the journey through all the mods. It literally is quite a journey, guys. And I hope you guys are hyped for it. Guys, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing? I really appreciate it if you click that subscribe button. Also, clicking that thumbs up button as well. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. As always, thanks for watching.